All right, hello and welcome back, everybody. This is David with Fairmare's Rangers. I hope you're excited. We got something new to talk about with Empire Total War after all these years. Isn't that just bananas? Well, here we go, guys. We got the mobile version. Came out on the 21st. That's today. I actually got it on the 20th. Late at night. I guess it's because over there in England, they were ahead of us, so yeah. Us Americans got it on the 20th, even though I'm sure it was the same time over there. Anyway, I'm going to be bringing you guys the first look at this. I'm so super excited to talk about it. I played around with it a little bit last night, and I will tell you, it took me a hell of a time to get this to where I could bring it to you. Just a pain in the ass trying to figure out how in the world I could screen record this without causing too much lag. I had problems with my iPad not wanting to sync up with the Mac, and but finally we got it to work. Apparently there's an accessibility setting that was denying the iPad from using the screen record. So once I figured that out to an 8-year-old video that explained that, yeah, a miracle I found that video. But anyways, here we go. We're going to play a France campaign. I hope you're excited for this, because I sure as heck am. And this campaign I've recorded, and I'm going to go ahead and talk over the mic of it because I don't have my mic set up in that room. So I'm having to do this post-script, if you will. Now, as I was playing this, obviously this time around I've got a little bit more familiarity with what stuff was, but I will tell you it was quite challenging right when I broke into it and started tinkering around. Now, you don't have to put your gentlemen in the schools. However, I'm going to do that because I want to research philosophy first, so I'm hoping that gives me a bonus there. I don't know exactly where they get their bonuses from, but I know that if you put them in industrial buildings and farm buildings, they'll get tech bonuses that they'll figure out based on camping out in the farms, learning the crops and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Now, some guys that were reviewing the game said that there's a lot more percentages. It's not. It's the same scale. It's just done a little different. Now this, working with your cabinet, I just messed with this for the first time. It's kind of a mess. A hot mess. I guess once I do figure out how it works, it won't be such a mess, but I was trying to change my ministers. My justice there, third from the left. And I had a hell of a time figuring out how to do it. I think you just drag the pictures up. But the problem is I can't see what their traits are. That's a big problem. The opposition, I should be able to see what their traits are, to see if I want to move them up there, and see how I want to do that. I know I did figure out moving the pictures from one cabinet member to the other is how you switch your cabinet members around, and the opposition up. But like I said, it's just a little wonky figuring it out. Obviously the kick thing works. I was trying to, because it shows you who's the best option and so forth for each position. But I don't know. I don't know if that's really necessarily what I want, because they're going to show you that depending on who you go to, they're going to give you the best. But which one of them is the best? There's 3 of them that are options. They're not telling you which of the 3 is best, because you can't see their traits. That's a problem. That's a problem in my book. because I want to pick the absolute best. And I would like to switch them around a little bit better. But like I said, maybe I'll figure it out more with a little bit more experience with it. For right now, yeah, it's not like the PC at all. So here's where I'm figuring out I can switch them over to one spot to the other. The equivalent candidates and the better candidates is what kind of messed me up. I thought if you kicked them from there, they're going to give you one of the candidates, and I thought if you clicked on them, but it keeps taking you to the Monarchs picture. It's just a hot mess. So I'm going to have to get back with you on that. Once I figure it out, I'll get back to you. I wish it was like the PC version a little bit more. Just drag and drop your guys and be able to tell what their traits are, so I know if they're the person I want. Because, I mean, it does matter if they cause public order problems for the upper class or lower class. Or, you know, depending on which one they cause problems for or have better traits for. Because you have to manage all of your ministers. You can't just do one. But right now I'm going to look at upgrading my buildings. If you hold on it, you can pull up the building. You just hold your finger on it, and then it brings up the actual info on it. But anyways, I'm starting to spend some money here. Luckily, the same starting amount of money. Now, you can go to the bottom. If you click on the capital of Paris, it does give you all the buildings in the whole region that you can upgrade. But I like doing it old school style, going to the actual buildings, because I just know where it is, and it's just easier for me to go where they're at, because I can see it better. I can manage it better by going to it. So I guess, you know, hey, it's great if it's right there, but I like to know a little bit better where the stuff is. And here's another thing. It took me like 6 minutes to find out how to destroy a building, because I want to get rid of the dockyard or the shipyard and make a trading port. But it's on the bottom left of that box once you hold on to it. And here is a good example. Hold on to it. It brings up that building description, and then at the bottom left corner you'll see it again. So I hold on the church. I'm going to destroy that. See it right there, bottom left? I clicked on it. It's going to burn that building down. I'm going to replace them with something a little more juicy. Something a little more special. So anyway, I'm going to move my spy down here to Savoy. Keep an eye on them fools. And I'm going to try and get a couple things done for you guys in this first video, so we can, you know, see what's what. So you guys can get kind of a taste for what it's going to be. And then we'll just continue along with the campaign and see how it progresses versus a normal campaign on the PC. We'll see and judge it based on a long-term experience here playing as France. We're not going to do a speed run. We are going to try and do some dastardly things a little bit here and there, not all the way. I'm going to go ahead and do access with them. All the way to the right, you'll see the little sideways 8. That's actually infinity. So it's infinite or undetermined amount of time for the trade for your land access. Infinite, I guess. But it's also mean you can cancel on them at any time as well. All right, so up here you can see at the map is how you can progress to each of the theaters. So I'm in Americas. That's represented by the little teepee, the top right of the corner. So we're what we can get done. Now, there's some things we're going to need to do in the Americas.
You do.
Because we know that the Iroquois and the Huron and the Inuits will all declare war on us if we don't do something about it. So we're going to go into our diplomacy, see what we can do to prevent that. Iroquois, war with them, inevitable. So we're going to go to the Huron and we're going to get an alliance. That's the first order of business. They should give it to us. And then that keeps that flank in the good. Then we're going to look at the seeing if we can trade a region with the Iroquois. Now, I'm not sure if they changed the starting amounts for any of these nations. So what I'm going to do on this first go round is I'm going to try and trade them Upper Canada, because that's going to be under risk from the Iroquois. And I'd prefer to have that region secure until I can get my footing. And if I can get some money out of this right off the bat, that I can progress a little bit quicker, then I'm all for it. But there, so I tried 9,000 just to see if they gave more. So it doesn't seem so. So we're going to go back to the standard 8,000 to trade them Upper Canada. And that deal is done. So we got 8,000 in the bank, and we can go ahead and start spending some of that money, like upgrading Alsace-Lorraine. And this gives us some much needed spending cash. A lot of stuff to do on turn one, guys. A lot of stuff. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start spending this money upgrading here, because we start off pretty low tier. Okay, so down here, we're going to go to the Guyanas, and at Cayenne, we're going to start doing some upgrades here so that we can prepare to go after the Dutch, as they will be sending an army after us. So we need to be on our toes to get some men recruited. And I like getting these natives because they have good morale, good melee. And melee is pretty crucial in the early period. It's a lot better than having a militia with lower morale. And it's also an indigenous unit, so I wonder if you're going to get a bonus on the replenishment with that unit as well. All going to be curious to see how this new replenishment system works. Alright, so this I found to be a little tricky the first time I was playing it last night. Had a hell of a time to get my ships to place here. And the reason I'm doing this is you see a little land bridge. If I can get it in there, I can keep the Iroquois from crossing these land bridges to come over to pay us a visit. So, very crucial. You can see how you just got to kind of hold your finger down until you finally get a green arrow, and then you can go, go, go. We're going to take our 6th rate, and we're going to move that down to the Guyanas. Onward you go. Now, we're going to trek ourselves on over to France. And we're going to see about increasing our navy. So we only have 1 5th rate, and you guys that have been with me a long time know how much I love 5th rates. To me, it's the best ship in the land. Now, one thing I want to comment on is that a lot of people are probably I'm getting a lot of traffic to the channel because of this mobile release. So we got a lot of very new people to the game, so I'm going to try and explain as much as I can as we go through this. Now, I've been playing this since 2009, so it might be difficult for me. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And also, we have a really good group of guys and girls here that might be able to answer your question before I can get to you. So we've got us a good community here. Alright, so let's see how the naval battle's doing this. I will tell you, last night I did some naval battles, and it was quite difficult. I actually did this battle right here and lost it pretty badly. So, of course, I was doing my normal thing that I do on PC, and I did it in maximum fast forward, and that ended up being a complete disaster. So we're going to have to slow this pace down a little bit, unfortunately. If you see what I'm doing here, this is a trick that you can do, because you can see where the arrow is pointing up at the top middle of the screen. It's showing where the arrows go, where the wind is going. If you split your guys up going different directions, the British fleet is now coming towards me, all their units straight on. Instead of in a straight line, they're all coming at me individually. Okay, so the benefit of that is I don't have to chase after them or try to maneuver. They're going to be chasing me. They're complete chase mode now. So I can try to knock out their sails with chain shot. So that's what we're lining up to do. We're getting our first shot there. Now, we'll tell you that the controls are extremely difficult in this. You're going to see what I mean. Just maneuvering your stuff around is quite difficult, because you got to click on one unit, click off the other. Not easy. Not easy at all. So, one thing I kind of suggest is at the bottom right of the screen, there's a button for select all units and deselect all units. I suggest using that when you're switching between units, because there's a lot of times you'll see in here where I accidentally click both units when I meant to have one. Like right now. Like, you see how it's causing me problems? This causes me major problems to this battle. And it really slows down my micro. This is what I call my slow crow. That's how slow my micro is. It's very bad in this. Here's another time. You see I selected both units, and it really messes you up. So it takes a little getting used to, and it's still very difficult to remember to click on the deselect and then go to the selecting your units. So you're adding a whole nother step to your micro, so it's definitely going to slow you down. So I'm kind of glad now that I was experienced in fighting these battles fast forward. You can see I'm doing it 2 times the speed right now, but 6 times the speed is just going to be a little bit too much in this. And that was my most preferred way to fight naval battles, just because it gave me a good flow. Okay, so you can see I keep flipping around, shooting the sails. We got one mast that just fell, if you saw from that. I think that's a sloop. See, that's one thing about this game. So on this version, I couldn't figure out how to actually touch the enemy ships to be able to see like what their status is. So it took a while, but you have to click the deselect button, and then you can click on the unit, the enemy unit, and see if their, you know, morale is down, if they're demasted, if you know, it'll give you an idea if they're going to break or not. But that's an important thing that now I finally know how to use in this. The first couple of battles I was fighting, I had no clue. But again, this is a micro thing. It's going to take you time to do it. It's like a whole nother step, versus if you have a mouse, you can just quickly click on different units, your units, and it's just a little bit easier. So you got to really continue to think about this stuff. Nice thing in this battle right now is I got 2 ships demasted right now. We just got to get this 5th rate. And that's the prize, the 5th rate. That's the one we want. Okay. So you can see I'm doing a little bit better right there as far as clicking each unit individually. There goes another mast off that one in the middle. I think that's the 6th rate. So like in the PC version, I can just hover over it with the mouse and it'll tell me, you know, that's the 6th rate. It's got X amount of guns left. It's got, it's dismasted. Their morale's low. They're concerned. You know, these type of things just by hovering over it. But that's not the case in this. You don't have a mouse. You got to actually click on the unit, but to do so, you got to deselect yours, which means you're not managing your units. All right, I just killed the admiral. This means this battle is most likely going to go in our favor. Of course, future David right now knows, which I'm future David. Past David didn't know, but he was pretty sure he was going to win the battle when he knocked down that sail mast. There goes the last mast on the 5th rate, so we're going to change over our shot. We're going to go up here and see if we can go ahead and get this fleet to go ahead and bend the knee. So we're going to go in with our good old grape shot. You can see he's already starting to waver. He knows what's coming. He knows what's what. Still got chain shot on this ship on the right to try to take out the masts over here, because there's still 2 masts on each one of those ships. Unfortunately, that 6th rate is starting to get some shots in on my 5th rate, working on their 5th rate, so we'll have to do something there. Boy, what, you like that path? Yeah, pathfinding is still a little bit of an issue. So if we were in hopes that pathfinding would be fixed. I think that was one of my questions from yesterday on the video. Well, I can promise you that pathfinding is still kind of an issue. All right, so these all are about to break. And it looks like they have both broke. So now we can work on that 5th rate. And unfortunately, he's getting some nice shots in on my ship coming around. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get all the way in the back of him and come up, because once I get in the back of him, he's toast. So it's telling me combatant losing slightly, and my ship's confident. You can see as I'm approaching, it's going to cause a morale shock. And once I get in the back of him, shoot him in the back, it's done. But I think that's it. He gave up. He knew what was about to happen. So there we go. First battle of the campaign, and we got us a victory. So over here, to get the ship, if you look on the bottom left, click on that where you can have access to the ship. So I'm going to click on the 5th rate. It's going to tell me at the top what ship it is. You see the scroll at the top. So I added the 5th rate and made the money off the rest. It's like a little bit over 1,000 I got out of that by claiming the prize money. And now, in this fleet, I got 2 5th rates and a 6th rate. So, as I'm trying to figure out how to do this, I'm sending the 6th rate over to the original fleet, and I'm sending the 2 fifth rates to take out the Dutch. So, there we go. First naval battle in the books. Not bad. Alright, so we're going to use some of that money to recruit us some more infantry. And we're about to go and lay siege to Amsterdam. So that way we get us a land battle in this first episode. So we can have a nice feel of all the different elements of this game. You know, first thing, we're going to have probably more naval battles and land battles. Just as we're going to try and set up ourselves to where we can open up some good trade routes. And obviously with Britain, you want to make sure that the English Channel is clear for all your trade there. Over here, while we're looking at tech, so this system is based on points, just like the other system. But whereas in this system, you're only looking at points. So this is taking me a minute to figure out, and I'm only assuming, sorry, that I'm doing this correctly. Although it's very confusing how it looks. Because if I slide it all the way to the right, that should give me more research points to it. And it's going to tell me on the main screen on the left, well, when I get out of this, you'll see, as I add some research points to the plug bayonet. If I put it to max, see how on the top right it's saying 10? And then if I slide all the other way, it says 4, I think. So it's kind of confusing. So, see, it says I got 5 left over. And I want to use all my points. So we'll go to empiricism. We'll add 5. I wonder if that means we're adding an additional 5. I don't know. It's just weird. It's 8, then 5. Maybe the first section you get 8 points, and the next section you get another 5. I don't know, but it is definitely weird. I wish this was a little more clear. Definitely thinking that it's going to take you 5 turns, 5 plus turns, plus 5 turns to get it done is what it looks like. I don't know. I think the sliding bar looks like it's just expanding it. I don't know. Maybe it's like the first click you get 5 points, or and then I have no idea. But you would assume the more you slide it to the right, the more points you get. This is very weird. Maybe it's my 52-year-old brain that's just causing the problem. But I have 0 points now. The first one I want to get done is empiricism. That gives me a bonus, and it lets me upgrade my schools, which is super important. Super important for research. So, I haven't even talked about government type. I'll talk about that later when we have it's more relevant. But we ended the turn finally, and the British are attacking me with their other fleet, and we're gonna save this just to make sure. I got 2 6 rates and a brig against their 2 5th rate. They have 2 5th rates, a 6th rate, and a sloop, I think, or maybe it's a brig. It's close enough. Okay. So, the more ships, the more micro causes the more problems in this game. So, you can see I'm going to be sailing into the wind. I don't know where they're going to end up. I'm assuming directly in front. which kind of will be a problem. But if I sail off to the left, up inwind, with the main force of my fleet, they should sail towards me. And then, in theory, partially into the wind, and then I can knock down their masts that way. And it does look like they're going that way. And then I got my brig going off the other direction, and I'll bring him up behind later on. But for right now, we're just going to get him out of the way so he's not another unit to micromanage. And here quickly, we should be making some shots onto their masts. There we go, first shot's away. Now, I will tell you, it's not easy to see what you're doing here. I had to put on my little reading glasses. Again, this is showing my age, but it's quite hard to see on this, even on an iPad. I can't imagine on a phone. Because I want to see a little bit better detail if I'm hitting their mast. Because on the PC you can zoom in and see. Here's another thing. I'm in too close. Boy, this is going to be problematic when I have to go up against ships like galleons. It only takes one shot to hit you in the back with a galleon and you can explode. God, that doesn't even sound right when I said that. Okay, so here's another time where the microing of this is getting confusing and hard. Just switching between the units. Here we go. I'm clicking on them both again. See, it's getting difficult to manage, and luckily I don't get a mast knocked down on one of my ships. But I'm taking a little bit of shots here, which are not, it's not ideal. And if I was going up against a galleon, that could be instant death. So even though you might see me have some success in this, it's concerning. So I'm going to have to really ramp up my experience on using this and understanding where your range is, because on the PC I have a real good idea how far my range is based on that cone, but in this there just seems like there's a little more gray area. I don't know if it's just because it's red now. They're trying to show you that you're able to fire with that cone being red. The gray means they're still reloading. Then you see how it just turned red. It means I'm able to shoot. You know, I wish honestly that if they're going to put that cone there and have it going from gray to red, why not have it, you know, like having a color shift from like from dark gray to light gray to slightly pink to a little bit more darker pink, then to red. You know what I mean? So you can see the reloading process, so you know how long they're taking. That would have been nice. But it is what it is. I guess the one thing that also makes it hard to see and judge the range is just the smallness of the screen. You can see here I'm just having so much difficulties with the controls. I'm trying to rework it. I'm playing around with it while I'm further away from them. But you can see here again, I just clicked on both of them, which was a mistake. So hopefully I got it ironed out, because I only got so much map before we get to the red line, and then I'll be in deep trouble. He almost got my mast there. The sails took a little bit of a ripple. All right, so trying to get some space in between because they're all three of their ships are getting close enough to pile shots on me. So I'm trying to get some distance from them before we start making some more strikes. Then hopefully we can knock down some masts. You can see I'm still having selection problems. I've started getting used to this point at hitting the deselect button, but it's still difficult because not always is it easy to go over there and click the deselect button. It's just adding another step. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and speed this thing up so we can get through it a little quicker. Since I can't do it on fast speed, we'll go ahead and make the fast speed on the recording here so we're not sitting through this all day long. You're welcome for that. Alright, you can see here I'm trying to work down these two. I got a mast off of that 6th rate. Just got a mast off and killed the Admiral on that 5th rate over there on the right. Thank goodness. So we'll just continue to work down these ships until we get all their masts down. We just got another one down off the 5th rate. Almost got another one on that one. We're bringing the brig forward to go ahead and lay in some solid shot right into the back of their ships to help them decide to surrender. Okay. One thing's for certain, they definitely are persistent in this version. We got another mast down finally, and hopefully that puts an end to this scrum. Don't like that. I'm getting shot in the back there, but let's see if we can go in here and put it into this. Yeah, that's a 6 rate. Okay, got the brig behind, and he's starting to lay some solid shot into the back of the 5th rate over here on the right, top right of the screen. I'm going to start moving that other 5th rate on the left over and around behind on the other side. See how long that takes, because I'm having problems again with the selections, getting confused which ship's which. There's one point I had them left to right, then I had them cross over towards the beginning of the battle, and it's been kind of mixed up since then. See how once I lay some shots into the back there, I think he broke. So yeah, see, I just deselected and selected the 5th rate, and he did surrender. See how it takes more steps to do that, which is unfortunate. Should have the other ship broken, and now we've got a 5th rate sandwich over here. So we got this pretty much in the bag at this point. Alright, and finally he breaks. There it is. Close victory. Sure, whatever. We'll take it however we can get it. Now we can add both those 5th rates to our fleet. Very, very important for us. So bring up that menu again from the bottom left. The ships with the money. And we're going to click on both the 5th rates and add them to our lineup and take the money off the last. Oh boy, I guess we're getting naval battle extreme here. So we got 2 5th rates, and there's another 5th rate we're going to take out of this fleet if we win the battle. If we don't, I'll be very upset. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed on this so we can bust through this naval battle here pretty quickly. It's going to go pretty much the same as the others. You'll see that I do have the same issues. It's the selection, although I think I do quite a bit better in this. And you can see the wind is going off to the right. So we're going to split our ships up. You see they're coming over towards the left side of the screen. And now they're starting to come back around, and they're coming all at once, which is what we want. And into the wind as well. I mean, with the wind as well. Alright, so we're a little bit close. I got it at 2 times speed on there. So added with another 2.5 speed increase. This is going pretty darn quick. The 5th rate is in the back of their fleet, so their biggest threat is the furthest away. You see my selection is getting a lot better. Already got one that's about to break. Hadn't quite broke yet. Okay, we're going to park the brakes there with this ship. Here comes the 5th rate. There we go. We'll just hang tight in here for a second. See if we can get some shots in on this 5th rate before we start moving. Got the mast. That's awesome. Took 2 shots from that ship to get that mast down. Okay, they're going to brake quick. Park the brakes. Ooh. Nice. This one went quite swimmingly. Now we just got the flute left. The flute is a trade ship, but it's got the punch of a combat vessel, but not enough. A weak combat vessel, if you will. All right, so that puts that battle to an end. We'll check out the results. Love it when we get a heroic victory. Makes me feel so heroic. I know you guys like that one. All right, so we'll do again. Bottom left screen, click on that, and we're going to bring the 5th rate up. You can see at the top of the screen is where it tells us. Oh, Lordy. What's his problem? Okay, so Maratha's given us a trade agreement for, then they're going to give us 650, so heck yeah, we'll do that. And the Iroquois are a little puzzled since they can't cross the little land bridge there. Sucks for them. And we got us a battle here, but we're just going to auto-resolve there when we can't win that with the fleet we got there. Well, not on this. On the PC version, yeah, I could win it, but not on this version. I don't trust my skills on this yet. And that's going to hurt a little bit, because if they do hit my port, that's going to kill my income. Absolutely decimate it. I mean, it does help that I'm building a port where the what do you call it, dockyard was, but that would still devastate our economy. So we're going to build a fleet here, starting with a sloop. It takes 1 turn to build them. We're going to place our army there. That way they don't destroy our port like the Savoyans got theirs done by the pirates down there. Not pirates, I'm starting to get tired, so I can't even think.
Why she called for help or something?
Because let me tell you, it was a long, hard day doing work and then coming back trying to figure out the stupid iPad screen record.
They're awful.
Man, what a pain in the butt.
I know.
But I got it done, guys. Just working on the editing. This is going to be pretty minimally edited, you know, other than the little fast forwards and stuff I do. I'm not going to do a whole lot of editing in this. This is going to be like an old school type of campaign. All right, so here I'm just going to quickly do this so we can get a land battle in on the first episode. So we'll lay siege here. Takes 5 turns. Obviously, they're going to sally out, so that's where it'd be more preferable for us. Since I got 5 research points to use up as well. Over there on the left of the screen, you can see where the book and the little glass thing is. Saying 5 points. Also 5 messages, but we don't care about those. Okay. The fleets. Just raiding these shipping routes so we can make as much cash as we can. All right. Love how it says France, France, you. We get it, we get it. All right, so let's see if we can use up the other 5 research points we've gained. So I'm going to try and put it all to empiricism. So slide that bar over. This is 4 turns for that. They're killing me here. Maybe that's an extra 5 points that I got for putting my minister there. I mean, minister, my gentleman. I told you I was tired. So got 34, let's just say 3,500 rounded up. We got to build up some troops to prepare for war against the Iroquois. And we also need to go to Guyana and continuing recruiting there. So this is an interesting little radar map. You click on it and then you can finger over to where you want to go and get there a lot quicker. I like it. All right, we're going to build us another native melee unit. Hopefully the Dutch stay away. I'm not going to tell you. I already know. I don't want to spoil it for you. Don't need to recruit there. Although I was thinking of it. Hindsight. Spoiler warning. I should have recruited one there. You'll see why soon. All right, working up the roads over here in Acadia as well. Building those roads gets us quicker to where we're building up income in our region. Growth, I should say, in our regions. Because we want to be growing. Losing money is not a good thing. We want to gain profit. Alright, so what we're trying to do here is get peace with the Inuit. Because I forgot to do that on the first turn. Luckily, they didn't declare war on me. So I do have an alliance with them now. And I gave them military access. So they can trolley all through my lands, and yeah, it'll be good for them. Okay, so we're progressing on with our little research. I should have probably not done plug bayonet first. I should have done agriculture, but it is what it is. All right, we got 505 left to spend. I forgot to move my 6 rate. I got 32 guns. That's why I almost said 32. All right, so they're sallying out of the fort against Camille de Houston, and here's another thing I forgot, and that it's hard to see on this, but Camille de Houston has low morale or morale penalties for its army, so. Something I didn't even think about until after the battle, because you can't really see that as well on this. I'll have to look and see, but it's not as accessible on this version. So we'll take a look at that on the next video, but we're going to continue on watching this battle. But that's just something to keep in mind if you play. Camille de Houston is not a good general. He will put your whole army negative morale. So if you have line infantry with 7 morale, you're going to have 6 morale. And then if you have a militia with 5, it's going to be 4. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. So I realized that partially way through the battle. Then I was like, wait a minute. This is Camille. That little bum. Alright, so you can see here, as we set up the land battles, how you have to spread your units out. You have to click them, hold on them, and then you'll bring up the box that you can stretch. If you select 2 units, same process. Hold down on one of the units, and then you can stretch them out. You can see how this is very time-consuming. Very time-consuming. So not ideal, especially if you're in a fast-paced battle versus a melee-hungry army like I'm about to go up against. This is not ideal at all. So, yeah, spoiler. But you can see how it takes so long to set up such a small army. One other thing I want to talk about, when we're watching the footage of this game as they were working on it, you know how I thought the unit cards were going to be aligned so much better on the bottom of the screen with so much more organization? Yeah, that's a big fail. Big fail. They did not improve that. It's all mixed up, jumbled it. So, especially with the fact that you have to use unit cards as much as you do, with them being disorganized on the bottom, it is massively puts you at a disadvantage. I really am disappointed that they did not fix that, because this becomes a big time issue in this game, because it's very difficult to select your units on the actual battle map. So you're almost forced to have to select your units from the unit cards. And when they're all jumbled up, it's easy to forget which line infantry is on the left of your flank, on the right flank. You know, is it in the middle, third from middle? Where the hell is it? Because it's just a big jumbledy mess, as you can see. And I am quite disappointed in that, because when I saw those pictures, I said, oh, looky here. All the units are so nicely organized. So that tells me that those footage that they were showing us were from a play battle where they got to select their units. Just like in multiplayer, you can set your unit cards up how you want. Yeah, not so much in the campaign. You're given the big old finger. Alright, so they're starting to push my flank, and I'm gonna move my mic again, but yeah, not ideal, because now with the micromanagement being as difficult as it is hard as heck to respond. So I'm used to using these tactics, which work extremely well for me on the PC. You're gonna see I'm gonna have some quite bad results from this. Quite bad. So we do get a couple kills in on that general before he charges, but yeah, it did not go well. You can see they are just bum rushing me now, as the AI usually does, but since I was not able to shoot down their cav, the infantry is just coming full on because they know they got a disruption. And you can see how I'm like, how are my guys routing so quickly? And it spread into a mass rout. And then I was like, my general is Camille. How could I forget this? So, yeah. We take to a mass rout. See, what I was trying to do as well is I was trying to get my artillery off and run them out of the way. Because sometimes in the PC version, when you do that, the AI will jumble about. So you can see me trying to bring my cav to get them in here to get some kind of help. But this unit on the left is breaking against low tier units. It's just absolutely unbelievable. I end up killing their general off, but doesn't end up being as pivotal for me as I was hoping it would be. Unfortunately. Big time, unfortunately. Okay, so you can see how this went from bad to worst. There's their enemy general. He just died. And you can see here, I'm trying to run my cav in the back into the back of that unit. But, yeah, the selection's so bad, I completely selected a point that's way past them, so my cav just runs past them up there at the top of the screen. Yeah, touch screens, touch controls, not ideal, guys. This battle just does not go well. And like I said, I mean, it's a lot my fault, because, or it is absolutely my fault, the way I set up. But I'm just, like I said, I'm used to being able to set up like this where I can just absolutely decimate them. This actually requires a lot of micro to play this way. So don't make the mistake I made. Number one, don't forget about getting rid of Camille to Houston. And number two, don't set your men up in a position that's going to require lots of micromanagement, it's not going to go well for you. And also bring armies that are not going to put you in position where you're going to have to do a lot of micromanagement. Because if you do, your results are probably going to end up like mine until you, or if and unless you're a master at touch control, which I am not. My 52-year-old brain cannot handle it. Yeah, so quite disappointing. But we will live with it and live to go on another day. The best part of that battle is Camille de Houston bit the dust fittingly, and we can move on from that disaster to better and brighter days, because a lot of my units got out of there. The bodyguard for Camille de Houston got out of there. We'll disband them. All right, so the Dutch are coming with some units. I don't even know which units, but that's going to be a problem because I'm only going to have 2 units there to defend that off. And, man, they recruit so fast, the AI does. Like, how? Sorry, I mean, we're only on the second intern. So I'm only going to have 2 units. I think they start off with 1 there. So that is an advantage they have. But how did they get so many units that quickly? I guess they could have brought some over from somewhere else, where the AI is doing some cheating. Regardless, we got to deal with it. All right, Westphalia smells blood in the water with our defeat. They sense the death of France. So they're going to be sorely mistaken. We do not call our allies because I got plans for Westphalia. You'll have to stay tuned for that, as I'll work on them tomorrow. All right, now I can move this 6 rate before I forget. Again, we're moving him down to the Guyanas. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and end the video here, and we'll pick up tomorrow with the next part. Hope you guys did enjoy this. This has been pretty fun for me, learning all the new stuff in here. Before I sign off, I'd like to say a big thank you to all my channel members. Without their support, this could not be possible. So big shout out to those guys. They're great. And that's about it, guys. I guess I'll see you on the next episode of our France campaign. We'll continue to work through this. Sorry, I moved the mic. But let me know if you guys want me to start up another campaign and run it alongside this so we can get some different views. So like every other day it's a different campaign. I don't know. That might be confusing. But, you know, just let me know what you guys think. I'll go with the majority of what people say. But I can pull up and do different campaigns. We can do one day a different nation, so we can do 7 different nations to start off, 1 nation per week. I mean, you know, basically, I'm sorry, 7 nations per week, 1 per day. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. See you then.